Hi and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about something small but makes a massive difference in how fast you sell your home and how much you walk away with, and those are repairs. Both the big ones and the small ones. Let me paint a picture for you of how this actually plays out during the showing. A buyer pulls up and your curb appeal makes a great first impression. They walk inside the home and it smells clean and fresh. It's decluttered and depersonalized. At this point, the buyer loves everything they see so far. This is the moment where desire takes over, and desire is the emotion that makes a buyer fall in love with the home. When a home makes an amazing first impression, buyers will actually overlook small defects: a leaky faucet, a cracked switch plate, a loose doorknob, and rooms painted different colors. Buyers notice these things, but because they desire to own your home, they look right past them. But here is where so many sales fall apart. No matter how much a buyer loves your home, once the home inspector starts talking, everything changes. The inspector says the HVAC is on its last leg. The roof only has another 3 years before it needs total replacement. The hot water heater is also on its last leg. And suddenly, logic takes over. All of that emotional connection the buyer felt walking through your home gets replaced by concerns over thousands of dollars in repairs. And at that moment is when a buyer starts to walk away from a house they were excited about just a few days earlier. This is what I tell every one of my sellers. Small repairs and big repairs are not the same conversation, but they both deserve your attention. Let's start with the small stuff first, because they are quick and inexpensive fixes. A dripping faucet, a squeaky cabinet hinge, burned out light bulbs, a cracked switch plate, loose doorknobs, rooms painted a different color, and old stinky carpet. On their own, they seem minor, but a buyer is noticing them, and if your first impression is not strong enough, these small things start adding up in their mind. Now let's talk about the bigger repairs, the ones that can actually cause a sale to fall apart during a home inspection. Here in Central Florida, roof condition is one of the very first things buyers and their inspectors focus on. If the roof is nearing the end of its life, get a professional roofer to come and inspect it before you list your home, because this is one of the biggest and most expensive negotiating points in any contract, and you want to discover it before the buyer's inspector does. There is another layer to this that sellers don't think about, and that is insurance. When a roof is old or close to needing replacement, a buyer will often have a tough time finding an insurance company who's willing to insure them. And when they do find a company that's willing to write the policy, the premium can be super expensive, and that will change the buyer's entire monthly budget and can cause them to even walk away from the house altogether. Your HVAC system matters just as much. Our summers are long and demanding, and an aging air conditioning system can turn a buyer's excitement into hesitation fast. The same thing goes for your hot water heater. If it's old, replacing it is an investment that protects your negotiating position later. Moisture and mold are also a real concern in our climate. Check under your sinks, around the windows, and bathrooms for any signs of water intrusion. If your home is older and it still has the original electrical panels like Federal Pacific, Cisco, Challenger, or old wiring, have an electrician take a look. Outdated panels affect both insurability and a buyer's confidence. And if your home was built between 1970 and 1995, just about every buyer will ask if you have replumbed your house. Polybutylene plumbing was commonly used during those years, and you will need to know if your home has that type of plumbing, because if you have not replumbed the house yet, you may have to give the buyer a credit so they can do so after closing. Foundation and drainage issues deserve the same attention. Something as simple as improper grading or clogged gutters can create an appearance of a much bigger problem. Here is the bigger picture behind all of this. Desire is what gets the buyer to fall in love with the home and write an offer, but logic is what gets the deal to the closing table. If your big ticket items are handled before the buyer brings their inspector, there is nothing for logic to argue with. Every repair you make ahead of time is a repair a buyer cannot use to renegotiate the price or walk away from the house entirely. Because when a buyer's inspector finds the problem, you will be negotiating from a place of weakness. Either your closing gets delayed while we scramble to make repairs, or you end up crediting the buyer thousands of dollars so they can handle the repairs on their own after closing. Last minute repair demands will kill your timeline and kill your profit. And that is the exact moment you wish you had handled this before putting your home on the market. My recommendation for every seller I work with is simple. Walk through your home with fresh eyes and handle the small stuff first, since it's quick and affordable. Then bring in a trusted inspector or a roof specialist. The same for your HVAC, the hot water heater, for your electrical, plumbing, and foundation, so you get ahead of any of these repairs, or you know what you're dealing with when we're negotiating a contract. Taking care of these repairs, big and small, protects the emotional connection your buyer feels and makes sure logic never has a reason to walk them away from the home they already love. I suggest you start making repairs the moment you know that you'll be putting your home on the market, whether it's next month or next year. Repairs become extremely overwhelming. I'm Evelyn Malave, broker associate with LPT Realty. I have been selling homes right here in Seminole and Orange County since 1989. With my 37 years of real estate experience right here in Central Florida, I have helped hundreds of families through the selling process. And I know exactly what it takes to get your home market ready. It's never too early to start preparing, whether you're planning to list next month or next year. The sooner we talk about market conditions and what it takes to get your home ready, the sooner you can start taking steps to make your home stand out. Give me a call. Let's have this conversation.